Getting raided by cheaters and Rust is infuriating. Here's some things that you can do to make it tougher for the bad guys to understand your base layout. So usually whenever you get raided by cheaters in Rust, they're using a program called ESP. It allows them to see where the objects are in your base, so they'll be able to see that the TC's right here, and they'll be able to see that the 4 loot boxes are right here. But whenever it shows up on their screen, it just shows up as a little marker. It just shows box, box 1, box 2, box 3, etc. So they know, generally speaking, where they are, but they don't. It's not like they have like X-ray vision and can see all the way into your base. So a good way to confuse them is to build fake loot rooms like this. Use the honeycomb of your base if you're not going to use it anyway. If you're just going to use it as standard honeycomb, which is totally fine, honeycomb's good for defense against side raids. Fill it up with boxes and then seal it. It's whenever the bad guys are whenever they're gonna try to look at your base as a potential raid target, they're gonna look and see, oh, there's a loot room here, there's a loot room here, and they're gonna see all these boxes, and it's gonna make it really difficult for them to understand the layout of your base. And that's power, is whenever they're confused. It may actually deter a raid because they don't understand what they're looking at. So if you do this, and then just seal it up. You're not going to use it anyway. So all the unused space in your base, make sure to use it as box. Fill it up with boxes. You can use small boxes, large boxes, whatever you want to use. And it will help with the cheaters not understanding what is going on in your base. You can even do really interesting stuff like do it in the ceiling also. So put stuff up here, and the more clutter, the more visual clutter that the enemy sees whenever they're cheating, the more entities they see with their ESP, they're not gonna. What they're looking for are simple, easy raid targets. I understand how to raid this base because I can see where all this stuff is. So, if you go in here and put stuff in the ceiling, they're going to be like, oh, well, he's using the ceiling then, okay. But then they raid it and they realize that they're empty and you're actually not using the ceiling, so they've wasted their explosives. You can also do things like, normally you'd leave a 2x2 like this. What the heck? Just, let's just get silly with it and just pile stuff up here and honeycomb it also. It just adds more clutter to the ESPer's interface, so they don't know exactly where they should attack from. So that's a really easy way to defend against cheaters that are using ESP. Another thing that you can do, and this applies for anyone, whether they're using ESP or it's just someone looking to raid you, is make loot rooms that are that they're either empty or they're hiding or they're protecting low value loot. So let's say this is a 2x2, and on the outside, make it really confusing for the enemy to understand what's going on. So if you have, let's say and I'm laughing because I've did this before and it works great. If you put stuff in here, let's say a couple of small boxes like this, and then throw a window on it. Whenever the enemy's coming to look at your base from the outside, this is the outside of the 2x2, they're gonna come up and be like, what's in there? Like, why would they put something in there? And then you can, build a loot room right here. If it's gonna be honeycomb that you're not gonna use anyway, why not? Why not put something in it to make raiders either waste their boom on something that doesn't matter, or make it hard for them to decide where they should raid from? Do I blow this window? Do I blow this window? It'll be hard to splash these two from the side. Where should we attack? It just makes it makes your base not an easy raid target. It's not a straightforward raid. So, do this all the way around your base. Add extra loot rooms that just don't make any sense. If y'all have seen some other videos, I'm a big fan of just total misdirection. I do crazy stuff like, let's just make a loot room over here, and let's put some boxes in it and a bag in it. This is clearly, you know, clearly going to be storage for some legit loot, right? And then put a metal shop front here. And then put some drop boxes on it. You know, let's put drop boxes on it so it looks like it's a clearly storage for some super high profile loot. You know, this is how we get the stuff in and out. And now they have another choice to make. What, you know, what is that? What's in there? It says boom. Is it like what is that? And you can put stuff in it if you want, or you could put nothing in it. It doesn't matter. But the point is, they can't splash it. You see how they can't splash your main base with this? It's just, the more choices the enemy has to make with raiding your base, the more possible ways that they can screw up, the better. So try not to put all your loot in, like, the main loot area. Even if it's a strong base, keep it separated and put it in unconventional areas that's going to confuse the enemy that's trying to raid you. To do that, it'll help sometimes it'll help with you it's a raid deterrent, so they won't even want to raid your base because they don't understand it. And second, if they do, and they do end up raiding you, they're going to waste boom trying to figure out, you know, where do I attack from? Is there anything in these windows here? I've had enemies blow these windows and then leave. They won't even raid the rest of the base because they're like, what is happening here? I don't want to deal with this bullcrap. And it can be really powerful stuff. It's mind games, and mind games can be very powerful as a raid deterrent.